Hi everyone! Welcome to Monica's Singapore Kitchen. In my previous video, I made pork rice dumplings. You can find this video in the description box below. Today, however, I will be making vegetarian rice dumplings. These traditional Chinese sticky rice dumplings are filled with savory vegetarian filling. My version includes vegetarian meat, sweet potatoes, kidney beans, mushrooms, and chestnuts. You can basically use any plant-based fillings. All these yummy goodness will be wrapped with bamboo leaves, which will impart a grassy, fruity and piney aroma to our dumplings. These dumplings are commonly eaten during the Dragon Boat Festival. Come along with me to see how they are made. So the night before, we need to soak our bamboo leaves. We have dried bamboo leaves bought from the supermarket. Try to select larger leaves, about 11 to 13 cm in width. Pour enough water to totally submerge the leaves. Use something that is heavy to press the leaves down. So about 60 to 70 leaves, because some of them might be broken. So the next thing we want to soak overnight in the refrigerator is 1 kilogram of glutinous rice. So I've washed it 2 times. So now we just add sufficient water so that the level of the water is at least 1 inch above the surface of the glutinous rice. So then we put it inside the fridge overnight to soak. So we need also to soak the mushrooms. The mushroom is dried. You can get it from the special section set up in the supermarket, where you can find all these rice dumpling ingredients leading up to the Dragon Boat Festival. So all you need to do is to soak it. They are all nicely cut already, so you don't have to take your time to cut it. So you just have to soak it and then put it in the refrigerator to soak overnight. So on the day itself, so our leaves have been soaking overnight. So all we have to do is to use a clean piece of cloth to wipe on both sides from top to bottom. Also cut off the hard stalk on top. So I've got about 60 to 70. So they are all wiped nice and clean. So now we look at our mushrooms. They have been soaking overnight, so it's nice and soft. We need to drain it. So we also need to press out and squeeze out any excess water from the mushroom. So you do not want it to be soggy. Okay, so the mushroom water that we have collected at the bottom can be used to cook the filling as well as the glutinous rice. So do not throw it away. Any excess can also be used to cook your other dishes on other days. So here we have got a small little pot of mushroom soaking water. So now we have a look at our vegetarian layer meat. This is bought from the online. You can use any vegetarian meat, which can be found from our local supermarket. Otherwise, get it online. They are not expensive. So what I need to do with this is to cut it into 1 cm cubes so that's easier to eat, bite sizes. So do that for 400 grams of it, and then we can start cooking our filling. So to cook our filling, we need to heat up 2 tablespoons of oil. Then once the oil is hot, pour in the mushroom. Stir frying the mushroom for about 3 minutes. Now stir fry mushrooms help to intensify the mushroom aroma and also helps to achieve a desirable texture. I've also added the vegetarian meat, and once you have added the meat, you stir fry for 2 minutes. You need not cook them for long because the vegetarian meat is already cooked. So basically you're just trying to heat it up. So then we need to put in our seasonings, which comprise of 1 tablespoon of light soya sauce, and here we have got the vegetarian oyster sauce. So try to use the vegetarian one, since in keeping with the spirit of our dish, which is a vegetarian rice dumplings. I use 1 tablespoon, but if you want it to be a little bit more strong in taste, you can add 2 tablespoons. So we also need 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of 5 spice powder, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and then the last ingredient is optional, the 1 teaspoon of mushroom powder if you have. If you don't have, just omit it, no problem. It will still taste nice. So mix well. So then I added 150 milliliters of mushroom soaking water. So what we want is for this ingredient to soak up some of this water so that it will be slightly moist but not dry. Yeah, our filling will be slightly moist. So round about like this, it is already cooked and ready, our filling. So we will want to take it out and put it inside a bowl and then put it aside. Okay, so this is our filling. So let's put this aside and move on to cooking our glutinous rice. So we have this glutinous rice that has been soaking overnight in the refrigerator. It is looking nice, plump, and like a little bit bigger than the raw one. Yeah, so it looks nice and plump. So we drain the water and then heat up 2 tablespoons of oil. So once the oil is hot, pour in our glutinous rice. So we need to stir fry this glutinous rice for a total of 5 minutes. During this 5 minutes, we will add a few things, starting with adding the seasonings. The seasonings are 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of pepper, 1 teaspoon 5 spice powder, 2 tablespoons of black soya sauce. I use the black caramel because it gives it a nice golden dark color. So the next seasoning is 1 tablespoon of vegetarian oyster sauce. The soya sauce comes first, then the vegetarian oyster sauce. No preferred order, yeah, you can put it in any order. So this is the same vegetarian oyster sauce that I use for the filling. And then of course 1 teaspoon of the mushroom powder. If you don't have, no need to use the mushroom powder, you can just omit it. So what we need to do now is to mix everything well so that the rice will have a uniform reddish brown color. We want to stir fry the rice until it picks up all the seasonings and the rice turns slightly sticky. This slightly sticky texture really helps to keep everything together during the wrapping process. The oil that we have added also helps to prevent the rice from sticking to the rice. Now I've just added 150 milliliters of mushroom soaking water. That will really help to, make the rice slightly sticky and softer. Here we are not trying to cook the rice completely because later we are going to boil it further. So it is just to make it sticky so that it can hold together, making our wrapping process much more easy. Here we have got kidney beans. I've got the canned variety. I have washed it 2 times and then weighed it, and it is 200 grams. So add it together with the glutinous rice. It is already cooked, so we don't need to cook this kidney beans. Just make sure that it is mixed uniformly with the rice. Okay, looks like our rice is ready. So we are going to transfer the rice into a container. And then once we have done that, we can move on to the next step, but before that you can see that we need to do this transferring first. Yeah, so just scoop it up and transfer it and cool it. Yeah, so we need to just to cool it. Okay, so this is our glutinous rice filling. Okay, so now we can wrap our the glutinous rice, vegetarian glutinous rice dumpling. So we have got raw sweet potatoes, which I've cut into 1-inch cube, and I also have cooked chestnuts obtained from the supermarket. They are all nicely cooked already. Okay, so let's take our the bamboo leaves. There are two sides to it. One side is smooth and the other side is a rough surface. You know that it's rough because there's a protruding middle rib, running right along it. So that's the rough side. So we want the smooth side to be in contact with our glutinous rice. So take 2 pieces of bamboo leaves. Then face the tail end of one piece with the head of another piece. Try to organize the leaves so that they are not directly on top of one another, but have an offset to broaden and lengthen the assembly. Then twist the leaves such that the left and the right sides of the assembly coincide, forming a cone. So then we can add the stuff inside, starting with the glutinous rice. Add a couple of tablespoons of it. Depending on the size of your leaves, you can add more or less depending on the size of your leaves, really. Then put in the filling, the mock meat as well as the mushroom. Then 1 chestnut or 2 chestnuts, up to you, and also the uncooked sweet potato. Then cover all this with a couple of tablespoons of glutinous rice. Okay, pat it down a little bit so that it's nice and compact. Using the thumb and the forefinger of one hand, press the 2 sides together and fold the top side of the leaves over the rice. Then whatever leftover leaves, you can either fold it to the front or fold it to the back. Is okay. So now we have got a triangular pyramid. Tie it with our dumpling cotton string. So I find that the cotton string is much better than any other types of string because it doesn't break. Yeah, it doesn't break during the tying process. So you can either use a reef knot or a dead knot. So kiasu people like me, I will want to use a dead knot because I do not want the knot to unravel during the boiling process. Okay, just like that, our dumpling has been tied nicely and hanging up. So let's try one more, just to repeat the whole process. So you take 2 pieces of bamboo leaves with the tail end facing the head. Then look at how I fold 1 inch at the base to seal the bottom of the cone before I twist the 2 ends to align the left with the right ends of the leaf assembly. Then we will put in our glutinous rice, a couple tablespoons of it. So just form a well at the center to welcome the fillings, which is the mushroom, the mock meat, then the chestnut, and the sweet potatoes. And then top everything, cover it with a couple of tablespoons more of the glutinous rice. So pat it down so that it's nice and compact. Then using the thumb and the forefinger of one hand, press the 2 sides together and fold the protruding leaves over the glutinous rice. Like so. And then we will then fold the extra bit of leaf forward or backwards, thus forming a triangular pyramid. So then we will just tie it as per normal. Try to make all your dumplings the same level so that it's aesthetically more pleasing. If it is not, it doesn't matter, yep, so it is not crucial to how your dumplings will taste. So tie a dead knot. Okay, do the same for all the other dumplings. So eventually I made 18 jumbo dumplings thanks to my neighbor Ben for the jumbo leaves that he gave to me so graciously. If you have medium-sized bamboo leaves, you can only make maybe 24 dumplings. So now we cook them. Bring a pot of water, use as big a pot as possible, and submerge your dumpling in below the water. And if it is still sticking out, you would want to pour in more water. Arrange dumplings so that there's enough space between each dumpling. So add enough water to totally submerge the dumplings. I have also added 1.5 tablespoons of salt to ensure that the taste of the dumpling does not leach into the plain water. So you bring the water to boil over high heat. Once it's boiled, you turn to medium heat and boil for 2 hours. Then turn off the heat and let the dumplings submerge in the hot water for another 30 minutes. Remember to add hot water from time to time to ensure that there is sufficient water. So 2.5 hours later, our dumplings are ready. So you take them out carefully, and then we want to cool it down for about 12 hours before eating. So I normally hang them up from the hook to drip dry, and also to cool them. So I catch the drippings using a tray at the bottom. So they will still be soft to the touch after 12 hours, but will be firm up once they are cooled down completely. So let's have a look at one of the dumplings. The rice is tender, chewy, and slightly sticky. It is also soft and pliable. This is the texture that I'm trying to achieve. So let's have a look and see what's inside. You can see that the filling is nice. They taste sweet and savory. The sweetness comes from the tender sweet potatoes, and the mock meat tastes both savory and umami. They are so delicious and addictive. Hope you have the opportunity to make and enjoy these dumplings. Thanks for being with me till the end of this video. See you again in the next video, and as always, happy cooking!